Wayne County Public Library. Today we are going to talk about, do you know what these are? Apples. And what does an apple start with? A. So can you say apple with me? Apple. Good job. And what color is the A? It is red. Good job. And I have some little apples I'm going to show you. What color is that apple? Good job. It's a green apple, kind of like what I'm next to. What color apple is that? It is yellow. Good job. And what color apple is that? It is red. Good job. And I have some apple seeds. You find these in the inside of an apple. And that's what it looks like whenever you eat your whole apple all the way down. So your apple starts out like that. And once you get to the center, you'll see some seeds. You don't want to eat that part. So we're going to talk about how does an apple grow. So first off, apples grow on trees like this. They start out as pretty little blossoms. And then the petals fall off. A fuzzy little bump grows. And then now it's a baby apple and it gets bigger. And then it changes into a big red apple. Can you believe it? Those are usually really juicy and good. So our first story today that we're going to read is Tucker's Apple Dandy Day. And it is written by Susan Wingate. And it is published by HarperCollins Publishers. Tucker was excited. His class was going to visit Farmer Sam's apple orchard. "I'll bring home apples," Tucker said. "Dandy! We'll have apple pie," Mother said. Said Dad and Tulip. "I hope it doesn't rain today," said Mother. "No way," said Tucker. Miss Blossom's class rode out to a big farm in the country. It didn't take too long. "Yay, we're here," shouted Tucker. "Welcome," Farmer Sam said. "Have any of you picked apples before?" "I picked blueberries," Tucker said. Farmer Sam smiled. "Berry picking is fun," he said, "but blueberries grow on bushes and apples grow on trees." The children shouted. "Oops," said Tucker. "I like tractors," Tucker said. "Hop on to go to the orchard," Farmer Sam said. "Yay," said Tucker and his friends as they climbed onto the big wagon. Vroom! Farmer Sam started the tractor and they took off. "It's bumpy," said Tucker. "And jumpy," Millie agreed. Farmer Sam drove into the orchard. "Pick as many apples as you like on these low branches," he said. Jonathan, Jared, Beverly, Scout, and Millie ran to the trees. But Tucker wanted to go get a better look at the tractor. "It's sure a dandy," Tucker told Farmer Sam. He heard Jonathan shout, "I've got 2 apples." "Look," Jared called. "I found a little worm in mine." Tucker ran over. "You get all the luck," he said. Millie looked sad. "What's wrong?" asked Tucker. "I don't have any apples," Millie said. "I can't reach." Tucker looked around and then he had an idea. He helped Millie step onto an apple crate. "Now I can reach," Millie said. She held onto Tucker with one hand and picked apple after apple with the other. Miss Blossom came over to hold Millie's hand. "You get some apples now, Tucker," she said. But Tucker stopped to help Scout move his bag to another tree. And then Beverly needed Tucker's help. And suddenly, a big raindrop landed on Tucker's nose. Plop, pip, plop, flip. "Time to head back to the barn," Farmer Sam shouted. Everyone hurried to the hay wagon but Tucker. He reached for an apple. "Tucker, hop onto the wagon, please," Miss Blossom called. "But Tucker began. "Now, Tucker," Miss Blossom said. Back in the barn, Millie said, "I got 8 apples." "I have a whole handful," said Jonathan. "Me too," said Beverly. "I didn't get any," Tucker said. "I have to get some apples," Tucker told Miss Blossom. "I promised my mom." His friends heard him. "Here, Tucker," Millie said, handing him 2 apples. You helped me get these. Take one of my apples, said Jonathan. Take some of mine, said Beverly. Everyone started sharing with Tucker. Soon he had lots of apples. Enough for a pie, Tucker thought happily. That was nice of them to share with him. Then they all had fun playing hide and seek. Do you see Tucker? On the bus, everyone sang, "Rain, rain, go away, come again another day." And soon the sun was shining. "I'm proud of you, Tucker," said Mother when Tucker told her all about his day. "You helped your friends, and then your friends helped you. Now, let's get to work," she said. "Who brought home the apples for this apple dandy pie?" Father asked. "Tucker," Tulip said. "He helped make the pie too," Mother said. "Well, look what you can do," Tucker's father said. "I'm so proud of you." "I had lots of help," Tucker said with a smile, "but I can eat pie all by myself." I hope you all enjoyed that story. So we have Clifford's counting red apples. We're going to help him. We have, I went to the market and what did I see? One shiny red apple as can be. Can you show me one? Good job. I went to the pig pen and what did I see? Two little piggies eating apples with glee. Can you show me two? Good job. I went to the kitchen and what did I see? 3 apple pies. Ooh, shoo away, bee. Can you show me 3? Good job. I went to a party. What did I see? 4 apples floating and one just for me. So we have 4. Can you show me 4? Good job. I went to the orchard and what did I see? Dozens of apples on trees after trees. So we have dozens. We have tons of apples. So we had 5. We helped Clifford count. And now we're going to see apples' little shapes. I'm just going to run through it with you. There's some different little shapes that we have on here. And we'll get closer up to it here in a little bit. That way you can see it. Bring it a little bit closer to you guys. There's a star and an oval, a crescent, and a square. You can see different little shapes. So we are going to learn about the apples, and it is a fruit that has seeds. So the seed will start out as a little seed in the ground, and it will sprout, then turn into a sapling, then into a small tree, and then mature tree with fruits, and then the cycle will just repeat over and over and over again, and that is how we have apple trees. So for our next book, we have Little Apple Goat, and it is written and the pictures are drawn by Caroline Jane Church. And it is published by Elderman's Books for Young Readers. Down on the farm there lived a little goat. She was quite an ordinary goat, ordinary in every way. In every way, that is, except for one. She had quite unusual eating habits. While most goats are happy to chew on last week's leftovers or Wednesday's washing, Little Apple Goat preferred apples and pears and cherries. Every autumn, Little Apple Goat spent happy days in the orchard waiting for a crunchy apple, a rosy pear, or a juicy cherry to fall. Plop! When evening came, Little Apple Goat would trot home to her meadow, and on the way she would send a shower of pits and seeds over the hedge. Flippity-flip! Day after day, year after year, Little Apple Goat's pits and seeds flew over the hedge. What do you think is going to happen with all those seeds? We just talked about it. On one particular autumn day, a breeze began to blow. The The breezy afternoon became a blustery evening, and the blustery evening blew into a stormy night. The animals were very scared indeed. They huddled close together inside the barn while the wind howled all night long. In the morning, little Apple Goat rushed straight to the orchard. The storm had toppled every single tree. The little orchard that little Apple Goat loved so much was gone. All the animals were very sad when the farmer came to take the logs away. The farm just won't be the same without the orchard, they said. As autumn turned to winter, little Apple Goat watched smoke curl from the farmhouse chimney. At least the logs will keep the farmer warm, she thought. At last, spring came. One day, little Apple Goat noticed something bright and flowery peeking over the top of the hedge. Blossoms! She thought as she continued on her way. And then one autumn, the blossoms were gone. Now fruit hung from the branches. Little Apple Goat could hardly believe it. The animals were so happy to have a new orchard. How did this happen? Who could have planted it, they wondered. But you know who, don't you? Flippity flip plop. I hope you all liked that book. That book was so cute, and it helped really show us how the seeds turned into a sprout, and then into a sapling, and then into a big old apple tree, and it just kept happening over and over. We have what we're going to do next. If you will put your arms way up high, go way up high. Good job. Way up high in the apple tree, and make two fists. Good job. Two little apples smiled at me. I shook that tree. Can you shake the tree? I shook that tree as hard as I could, and down came the apples. They were good. Okay, and then we have apple orchard colors. We have some green trees. We see a red ladder. We see a, what color tractor is that? A blue tractor, good job. We see a white building. We see gold apple cider. And we see, what kind of colors are those apples? Are they all different colors? Good job. We have some green and some light green and some red apples. So we have colorful apples. Our next story is The Bad Apple, A Tale of Friendship. And it is written and illustrated by Edward Hemingway, so he did both. He wrote and drew the pictures. Mac was a good apple. He shared his toys with the other apples, helped Granny Smith pick up after art class, and loved to dive fearlessly into the watering hole. On a sunny day, Mac could bob for hours. On cloudy days, Mac would search for the perfect pillow of green grass and take a long nap. In his dreams, it was always sunny, but one day, as Mac lay sleeping, it began to rain. Soon, all the little creatures in the earth around him poked their heads out to look for higher ground. Some of them found safety under the large toadstools. Others crawled onto stones and pebbles, but one small worm had another idea. When Mac woke up, he was covered in raindrops, and he wasn't alone. You won't believe the dream I just had. A funny little worm was tickling me right here. And now I can't seem to get him out of your head. It was you! And that's how Mac met Will. Will showed Mac how to fly a kite, fly himself, and play in the dirt. He loved making a mess. Mac took his new friend to the watering hole to clean off. He couldn't remember a better day. Until he took Will to the orchard. Look at Mac, he's got worms. Mac's a rotten apple. I'm not rotten. Quite sweet actually. So they just left. That's not very nice of the other apples. Will cheered Mac up by reading aloud from some of his favorite novels. He was a bit of a bookworm. Mac liked the adventure stories the best. He also liked it when Will finished his sentences for him. The most exciting part is when the pirates find treasure in the dirt. But the next day it happened again. Ha ha, it's the bad apple. Ew, worms. Those apples still aren't being nice. And no one in the orchard would play with him, not even the crab apples. Bad apples! The crab apples can be so mean. That night, the two friends sat alone on the grass without saying a word. In the morning, Will was nowhere to be found, but there was a note, and it says, "You are a good apple, from Will." Mac went back to playing with his orchard friends, diving fearlessly into the watering hole and painting in Granny Smith's class. But nothing was the same. There was a hole in Mac that he couldn't fill. Not a teeny hole, just a teeny little hole. You know, a small hole just big enough to fit. And nobody finished his sentences. Mac had to find Will. He searched low, he searched high and in between, in the dirt, around the watering hole, and just when he had given up all hope, he looked up in the sky. Do you see something in the sky? I think that was one of the kites that they had flew. And look, Mac found Will. Mac knew he'd rather be a bad apple with Will than a sad apple without him. I was hoping I could help me turn the page. How did you know? Because you will always be a good apple in my book. Good and happy, and there's nothing bad about that. I hope y'all like that story. That's such a cute little book. Okay, we're going to go over how do apples grow one more time. So, apples grow on trees. They start small and green. The apples grow bigger, then they begin to change color. So we're going from green to like a light red. Now the apples are big, red, and ready to pick. And then you eat them and go crunch. Okay, I have some secrets of the apple tree that we're going to show you. This is by Karen Brown, so she wrote it, and it's illustrated by Alyssa Nazar. A tree is bustling with life. If you look closely at its trunk, branches, leaves, and fruit, you will find the animals, plants, and fungi living there. So we have all kinds of stuff. An apple tree is green with leaves in the summer. Can you see what it looks like in the winter? What do you think it looks like in the winter? A little bit different. Fur. In winter, the branches are bare. One by one, the leaves drift to the ground and fall, but the tree will grow new leaves in the spring. Many animals live around the tree. Can you see who the bird is about to grab? What do you think is in the ground that the bird is about to grab? Slithering, wriggling, little worms push through the soil around the roots. A tree's roots grow long and deep. The roots soak up water from the rain, which helps to keep the tree alive. The wind blows the leaves off the tree. Can you see who is resting under this leaf pile? Who do you think is going to be under a leaf pile? Oh, surprise! A toad stays cool and unseen in the dark under the leaves. He lives in damp places where there are many slugs, worms, and insects to eat. Branches also fall from the tree to the ground below. Can you find anything growing on this dead branch? What do you think would be on that branch? In dark, damp patches on the fallen branch, groups of mushrooms, toadstools, and other fungi grow. The dead wood rots and makes food that they can eat. Something runs quickly past the dead branch. It scurries behind a stone. Who do you think that tail belongs to? Look, a small scaly lizard rests between the stones. It waits to catch a passing insect, spider, slug, or snail for its dinner. On the other side of the tree, a rabbit hops into a hole in the ground. Where is he disappearing to? Thump, thump. Deep down in the ground, rabbits dig nests and tunnels. They build large burrows where many rabbits can live together. A fly whirs up the tree. Something is hiding on the bark. Can you see what it is? A moth has settled on the tree. Its wings are the same color as the bark. As long as the moth stays very still, nothing will see it. The fly isn't whirling around now. It seems to be stuck in midair. What's stopping it from flying away? You got an idea? It's a trap! The fly has flown into a spider web. Its feet are really stuck in strands of sticky silk. The web is a trap that catches food for the spider. A bird flies through the rustling leaves with a worm in her beak. Who is going to eat the worm? These hungry chicks will soon gobble the worm up. Tweet, tweet. They hatched from eggs in a nest that their parents built in the tree. Let's look a little bit closer at the tree. What's this hanging from a branch? What do you think that is? Buzz, buzz. Hundreds of bumblebees are busy making wax to build their nest. They also collect sweet nectar from flowers. They store it in their nest to make honey that they can eat. A loud noise has startled the moths from their hiding places. Who is making such a racket? Rat-a-tat-tat, tap-tap, tapping away at the back, or at the bark. A woodpecker drills again and again. She makes a small hole in the bark with her beak. Quick as a flash, her tongue darts into the gap to grab a tasty, tiny insect. This hole hasn't been made by a woodpecker. It's much too big. Can you guess who lives in this area? Shh! A squirrel is sleeping on a bed of dried grass and leaves. His long tail is curled tightly by him to keep him warm. The leaf is shaking. There's something on the other side enjoying a meal. Can you guess who's on the other side eating the leaf? Munch, munch. A flurry little caterpillar is eating and eating and eating. It eats so much because it needs food to help it become a beautiful butterfly. Large, juicy red apples grow on the tree. These are the tree's fruits. What's inside the apple? Crunch! The apple is very tasty, but the small hard pieces inside don't taste as nice. These are the apple tree's seeds, and they aren't supposed to be eaten. Ripe apples have fallen from the tree. Can you see what happens to the apple seeds that drop on the ground? Below the soil, an apple seed has split and grown roots. The roots reach down to gather the food and water. A shoot pushes up from the seed and up through the soil. Above the soil, a green shoot grows up and up toward the sun. In time, it will become a tall, strong tree with a small world all of its own. And then we have some different animals that we went over. And that's the end. So I'm going to show you what you're going to get in your packet this week. We have a tree that you will make that looks like this. These will be little apples. That's why they're red. So you will get a tree or a stump and a big bright cloud is what it looks like. You can color this green this way or flip it around and color it this way. And then put your apples all over it like that one. That's what it's supposed to look like when you get finished. You'll make your own apple tree. And then you'll make your All About Apples packet. You will see what an apple tree needs to grow, go through a maze looking for apples. Which apple is different? You have to circle the apple that's different from the others. Match all of your apples up with the pictures. Color the picture of an apple and color the A for apple. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this week's apple theme.